Day the 23rd of October. Fingers crossed that it works today. That would be lovely. I would like to pay my respects to the land where it is a gorgeous day. There is blue skies. However, oh, there's blue skies everywhere. It does say cloudy later on though, so but that's okay because it's lovely now. All right, let's just fingers crossed that it works, hey? All right, so we still have the moon in Scorpio. Let there be light. All right, I'll just check and see whether there's anybody here. Nobody here yet. All right, it's hard to tell really, isn't it? All right, so we do have the last hours of the sun in Libra. All right, so we've got a couple of things happening. Oh, it's showing someone. Good morning. I think that means it's going to work. That's lovely. Good morning, Deborah. How are you? Nice to see you. All right, so last hours of the sun in Libra. It does move into Scorpio at 2:50. Good morning, Alicia. How are you? So nice to see you. Um, so why in relationships, good morning, Linda, do you need to have that last ditch contemplation about how you relate to people? All right. So whether that is, your love relationships, your work relationships, just anything, how you deal with people. All right. Because, let's be honest, with Mercury and Mars in Scorpio, the vibes are a little bit tricky. They're a little bit tricky. So I know for myself that um, have taken measures to do things and come up against resistance straight away with other people. So therefore, I've had to look at my own like my own self and go, okay, where where am I okay and the other person not okay? Good morning, Louise. And there is no blame here at all. And I don't think I really even expressed that the right way. Look, we're all just repeating patterns. Good morning, Karen. How are you? And so, I do want to take the blame out of that. But, we are also, good morning, Heather, how are you? We are also breaking ancestral patterns, all right? We are pattern breakers, all right? We are the black sheep that choose to say no to just this automatic blah 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 that goes on in life. No more, all right? We're paying attention to ourselves. We're paying attention to how we relate to people and we're doing something about it. But we have to look within and that is uncomfortable. All right, so like I said, last hours of Libra. So think about it. Venus is still not talking to anyone, all right? Just meaning she's making no applying aspects to anybody, all right? So she's just walking around the castle, just observing and seeing, so that when she does start to talk to people again, she knows her worth and value. Good morning, Genevieve. How are you? So yeah, just all right. So I'll read the words. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit off kilter this morning. Good morning, Kath. How are you? So be clear in the way you communicate today, because there may be a tendency to just blurt out how you really feel, and that is totally fine. However, if you want to be listened to, right, and not trigger people straight away, then speak in a way that does not push the wrong buttons. All right. It's a day that requires conscious effort. All right. And intention. So be prepared whenever you can. Like if you know that you're going to go into an environment that is tricky or triggering, then just have your bubble suit on, have your protective outfit on. I know a lot of you have got your protective outfits. I've talked about them before. Just put that shit on. And when you are in approaching people, then just be careful. Okay. So now, the moon is conjunct Libra and Mars. All right, so the moon is in Scorpio, so we're already in those tricky, deep places, where. Good morning, Christy. How are you? We are already in a place that is triggering. All right, so Scorpio. All right, so think, the normal keywords: death or transformation, sex, taboo topics, um, money, joint finances, investments, tax, blah, blah, blah. All right. So, we're looking into that not fluffy part of life. This is the deep and meaningful stuff that, that causes people to shy away because, it's sort of, Scorpio is so like Chiron, it's like there are bruises and bumps and scratches that you have to look at. All right. Now, there is also a grand trine forming. All right. So there is a yod and a grand trine. All right. So the grand trine is Mercury at 22 of Scorpio, Jupiter at 24 of Cancer, and the Saturn Neptune. All right. So Neptune's at 29, 950 something. All right. But Saturn is at 26 of Pisces. So this is a water grand trine. So there is flow between Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. All right. So Saturn in Pisces is asking us to look at our subconscious foundations, aka the patterns we were given when we were young, by that Jupiter. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. I'm expecting mine today or tomorrow. So that Saturn foundations is looking at Jupiter in Cancer, so this is the wisdom and the knowledge and the information that we were passed on from family. All right, Jupiter in Cancer. And then Mercury over in Scorpio at 22 of Scorpio is digging deep so that it can understand the patterns that were given to us as from our family, and so that we can reinforce our subconscious limitations, foundations, rebuilding shit from the ground up. All right, I don't know how, Heather, you were here when it was life from the ground up. This is the basis of that principle that I have followed on with. Life from the ground up comes from looking at the shit inside your head, non-judgmentally, knowing that it was just a pattern. It's a resonance passed on, it's imprinting. We imprint on our parents, we take on their vibe because mother is the name of God on the lips and hearts of children worldwide, and that was from the crow. So yeah, so it is a tricky day. We are looking at our relationships and wondering, how the fuck did I get here? Now that is the yod. All right, so the yod that is forming. Okay, so a yod is two inconjuncts. All right, remember yesterday I was talking about the Uranus. All right, so we are adjusting. I love that. We are adjusting our mindset and the way we think. We are looking within to see that Uranus retrograde in Gemini. All right, so we're paying attention to how we think. And then also the other yod to the Saturn Neptune, which is what we believe from all that stuff back there and those subconscious foundations. All right, both of them pointing to the sun in Libra, how we relate to people. All right, so you can see that, again, there is no blame, no shame. This is just how the world works. It is just you standing there going, oh, isn't that interesting? I didn't realize I did that. All right, there is no negative connotations in this. It is just difficult to face yourself in the mirror and see that you have behaved in a certain way that maturity shows you may not be that appropriate. Again, it's just realization. It is just awareness. It is nothing to do with you doing anything wrong. You were just doing what you thought was the right thing because that's what you saw. That's it. All right. So now when we look at the relationships we're in, we're like, oh, that is very reminiscent of things I have seen previously. All right. Again, that Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn in Pisces, Jupiter in Cancer, and Mercury in Scorpio. Good morning, Lisa. How are you? So nice to see you. So, and followed up with the Sun square Pluto. All right. So with all the Scorpio and that Sun square Pluto, you are going to be triggered. All right. It does not have to be something that is going to give you a tower moment. All right. You don't have to destroy everything. You can just identify bits and pieces and choose which ones you want to. I don't believe that anymore. All right. So Neptune in Pisces, we are now able to even better connect with those thoughts and dreams and things that are floating around in our subconscious and in our head. Hello, Amanda. How are you? Oh my gosh. So nice to see you. Well, now we've been friends for at least 28 years, maybe, I think. So good to see you. All right, back to the yod. Okay, so I've spoken about the yod. I've spoken about the grand trine. The sun goes into Scorpio at 2:51 p.m. this afternoon. Unless Shan, how are you? Unless you're in Queensland, and then that is 1:51 when the sun moves into Scorpio. So get prepared, guys. Like, this is the time where you get to dig deep. It is the time where you open those cupboards that are safely stored away in your deep soul area that you do not want to address. Go open those fucking cupboard doors and look straight into the thing that you fear the most and see that it is a giant dust bunny. It is not the boogeyman. Good morning, Julie. How are you? So, for the next 30 days, like I said, we've already got this flavor because the Mercury and Mars are in Scorpio. All right. So we're already there. But now the sun is there, and it is spotlighting, all right, those dark recesses of your soul that you tend to want to stay away from. But it's not the time to avoid. It is time to look straight in there, all right? Your leading light, your guiding light, your north node, whatever, is drawing you forth, all right? And these are the light, that dark space with your own beautiful inner light. Because sorry, I was a bit couldn't quite find the words then, but you know what I mean. All right, so it's definitely time to, and if you need to get professional help to deal with these things, perfect time for it. All right, absolutely perfect time for it. The universe has lined it up beautifully for me. All right, so I'm now going down that avenue, and again, I was filling out forms last night, and it's tricky, but it's like it's time as well. Like, I don't want to be limited by things that I'm not even aware of. You know what I mean? This is the thing. Our inner children have been, affected or traumatized at a certain age. Therefore, we get that grain of sand that turns into something that is irritating on the inside. But then when we find it, when we go digging for it, we go, oh my God, it's a beautiful pearl. It's a pearl of wisdom. All right. So Jackson is 21. Oh God. Oh my God, I feel old now. Do you feel old? I feel old. But that's okay because I feel wise as well. All right. I am now embracing the grandma. I'm embracing the crone. I'm embracing the fact that our stories have got wisdom in it that we can share, and thus here I am. Here I am sharing my obsession with you, and yeah, I just hope that you can gain beautiful things from this exploration that you're about to undergo. All right, so let's draw a card. Now I am fully back on, my books are open, so if anybody does want a reading, I am available again. So I haven't updated my booking links yet. However, you can just reach out if you want. I'm working on 2026. So if anybody wants, to have a look at what 2026 can offer, that is also something that I am open to. So what card does everybody need? I pulled one earlier, so let's see. Oh, this one. Oh, you get two. Oh, of course you do. Of course it is. All right. So the first one we get is family and tribe, and that is just perfect. Oh, awesome. Oh, shit. Where'd everyone go? Awesome, Amanda. Amazing. I love that. All right. So here we go. Jupiter in Cancer, family and tribe. All right. So, I mean, obviously, like I've just been talking about that whole time, this is us undoing the knots that our parents didn't know that they were tying. Good morning, Sally. So again, there is no blame. This is just us going. Be very discerning with other people's opinions. All right. Become aware of how the beliefs of your family and tribe are influencing you. What did you learn about relationships, money, and opportunities when you were younger? Ask yourself, am I still carrying some of these outdated beliefs? Am I trying to seek love and approval from my family by doing what they want me to? It's an important question to ask yourself. Sorry, an important question to ask yourself is whether you are living your life in order to make someone else or yourself happy. This card asks you to examine your loyalties, family beliefs, superstitions, and rituals that have power over you. Let go of anything that is not serving you. You are also being asked to face your fears of being different and embrace your uniqueness, even if others don't understand or approve of your actions. Often working with your energy centers, in particular the root chakra, can help you release past limitations and hurts and increase your confidence and help you manifest your desires into the physical reality. Now, how perfect is that? All right, so, and off the back of that one, we also have the sexual arts, which I love because it is the transition of Libra into Scorpio. It does go from developing a relationship into the intimacy of a relationship. So let's have a look at 33. Because even, even our partners, we have that imprint where we tend to go for one of our parents. Men go for their mothers, women go for their daddies. Unless there was an absent daddy, then that's a whole different ball game. All right. So keeping sexuality alive is an art form that very few people truly understand. Are you sexually attracted to your partner every day? Sex energy only occurs when there is sexual polarity. Everyone has both masculine and feminine qualities to gift each other. The only time there is sexual spark is when one person is embodying more of their masculine and the other is embodying more of their feminine. And I've got a message here saying self-worth and self-acceptance is also the same thing. Like, you don't have to have a partner to feel satisfied, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, consciously embracing who you are includes consciously embracing both sides of the sexuality or the primal nature of humans. All right. The masculine is the unchanging witness, presence, direction, decision making, and the feminine is the life force, light and flowing. Do not buy into the myth that sexual attraction eventually dies in long term relationships. Sexual polarity is an art that takes practice. It can be so subtle and last a lifetime if you are constantly reinventing your gifts and using an open heart. Good morning, Kathy. How are you? So I love both of those because it was very relevant to today and to what I was saying earlier. All right. So look at your relationships and ask yourself, are you just repeating an imprint? Okay. So be very clear and concise in the way you communicate today, especially if you know you're going into a situation that is going to trigger you. Or if you have a conversation to have that is a little bit prickly for the recipient because they're not in the right head, because they're not in the headspace of awareness that you are. Okay, so sometimes you need to be gentle. AKA, I spoke to my mama and I said something and she got offended. It really wasn't worth being offended over. However, because she's not aware of where I'm at, she didn't take it well. Again, I'm going to have to address it again and I'm going to have to be careful because I can't be bothered having a fight. So don't speak in a way that is going to push buttons when you have the awareness for both people. All right, there we go. That was a good one. People pleasing is a self-protective pattern. Absolutely. If we keep them happy, they won't turn on us. Yes. But it comes at a terribly high price. I am going to read this because it's very relevant. Because our fixation with keeping others happy, we undermine our own happiness in a desire to placate others and deny ourselves. Perhaps it's time for a new way. Please others when it truly pleases you. I love that, Julie. Thank you so much for sharing that. It is beautiful. There are a lot of people pleasers around us. And, again, because we fear what is going to happen if we tell our truth or, what our opinion is, because we need to be family. We need to have those bonds. Belonging is one of the biggest family things that we have. So there's that whole tribe thing. We need a tribe to survive. So So I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you all have a fabulous day. And like I said, reach out if anybody wants a reading. I am working till 2 today. However, my books are open. So if you've been thinking about it, I'm back on board. Mwah.